Good evening. I'd like to start by acknowledging the Daru people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet here tonight, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and future. My name is Elijah. I'm a young man with a severe traumatic brain injury, and I would like to tell you about how I got to where I am. I'd also like to talk about the difference that Ronald McDonald House and the staff and volunteers made in the lives of me and my family. In the summer of 2015, I was a bright, energetic 14-year-old, full of hope and very enthusiastic about life. I got good grades at school. I was learning guitar. I trained in jiu-jitsu, and I was an ACT representative in basketball, cross country, and long distance running. I had set myself goals of one day representing Australia at the Olympics and owning my own business. Then, on the 21st of November 2015, on a whim, I decided to go skydiving. It was a beautiful, clear Saturday morning, but by the day's end, the world had lost a hero. Tony was the instructor who unselfishly positioned himself to save my life. And I had lost everything except the chance and will to live. I was airlifted from Goulburn Airport to Westmead Children's Hospital. I spent many weeks in an induced coma. I was in a vegetative state, hooked up to multiple tubes and monitors. Not only was I not able to walk, I was unable to either move at all or eat or communicate. My parents spent their days and nights by my side or in a 3x3 dingy little room in the hospital's hostel. My grandparents drove to Sydney the day following my accident and also spent their days by my side or in a cheap motel nearby. They eventually managed to find an apartment and relocated to Sydney. All of our lives were completely shattered. It was just before Christmas, at the end of the school year. My little sister Lola finally finished school in Canberra, and then my family was fortunate enough to be offered a room at Ronald McDonald House. The day they moved in, my father sat on the bed and cried, although he still maintains that dust had blown in and irritated his eyes. That day marked the first day of almost a year that Ronald McDonald House would be our home. Having a place to stay at Ronald McDonald House allowed my family to be nearby to the hospital and attend all of my therapy sessions, physio, speech, OT, and more. Having my family there really motivated me. Them seeing me improve gave them hope. None of this would have been possible without the help of Ronald McDonald House. Eventually, little by little, I started being able to move my limbs. I began speaking and my condition slowly improved to the point where I could start visiting the house. This meant that family and friends could come and visit, and we could all sit around, eating, laughing, and crying in the comfort of Ronald McDonald House, rather than in a crowded ward surrounded by illness and sadness. In May, after 7 long months and a lot of hard work, I finally regained the ability to eat solid food. Hallelujah! I could once again enjoy a chicken snitty with gravy and chips. But better yet, I was introduced to Meals from the Heart, meals where generous companies and organizations would cook amazing stuff with all the fixings for all the families. I was in heaven I couldn't believe it. I started to meet the friends that my family had made who were also living at the house. We were able to laugh and help each other out during these meals. It meant the world to us and to them. In June 2016, my improvement continued and I was able to move to the house and become a day patient at the hospital. Ronald McDonald House had once again come to the rescue. The house worked with the hospital to have my hospital bed moved in as well as a hoist so my family could lift me. The house did everything they could to ensure I could move in without compromising my health or well-being. This allowed me more time in Sydney in the care of the team that had been with me since the start, and as such, the improvements continued beyond everyone's expectations. Ronald McDonald House has allowed me to build the foundation, the strong foundation that was needed to enable me and my family to move back to Canberra. It is this foundation that has allowed me to continue getting better, stronger, and more independent. Had I returned to Canberra sooner, I would not have received the same level or frequency of therapy, and in all likelihood, I probably would not have been able to walk across this stage or deliver this speech. But it's just not my well-being that benefited from my time in the house. My parents got to be together, and together there's nothing that they can't overcome. My sister got to be with us and with her mother, who she needs desperately, although she would never admit it. Friends and family got to come and visit in a lovely, welcoming environment. My grandparents got to help with my care and also had somewhere where we could sit down and share a meal, read a book, play a game, or watch TV before returning to their apartment. We met sports people from the GWS Giants, the Western Sydney Wanderers, and the Parramatta Eels. In fact, their presence in the house was so welcome and appreciated that Para is no longer my dad's least favourite NRL team. And he almost forgives them for beating Manly in the 82 and 83 grand finals. We met other families who were also struggling, whose lives were turned upside down in an instant. We supported each other, and some of these families are now lifelong friends, bonded by shared experiences. We made friendships with the staff and volunteers, these selfless, caring people who do all they can to ensure that your life is as good as it can be when it's at its lowest. All of this made life better, made it easier, and it ensured that I was in the best possible place to recover and rebuild. You see, Ronald McDonald House is more than a roof, 4 walls, and a bed. It is a house of hope. Hope that things will get better. Hope that you will leave the bad behind. Hope of a brighter future. And so, how do I, a young man with a brain injury, say thanks for all of that? Well, I guess if I were a poet, I could write a poem. If I were an artist, I could paint a picture. If I was loaded, I could donate a stack of money. Hint, hint. But I'm not those things, so I suppose the best thing that I can do is to say that I am no longer just a brain-injured kid. I'm now a college graduate. I mentor kids in a primary school. I work as a social media coordinator for a rehabilitation business. I am back training in jiu-jitsu. I've started walking again and, well, my life is now full of hope. So, thank you staff, thank you volunteers, thank you Meals from the Heart, thank you sponsors, thank you to everyone involved in making Ronald McDonald House what it is today. Without you, I don't want to imagine how much worse off my family and I would be today. Thank you again.